Hello, business owner. Hello, entrepreneur. My name is Vince Fowler. How you doing? I've been working with people like you for the better part of the last 10 years. And early days, so last sentence first, I have this little hand puppet that I want to demonstrate between the difference between functional and dysfunctional. But to set it up, give me a little bit of space here. When I first started working with business owners, it was really around the strategy of business, sales, marketing, and operations and delivery, as well as productivity in the administrative, financial, and HR space. Very much a business coach type thing. How do we be a profitable business? But along the way, about 6 years ago, I read the book How the Brain Changes Itself, and I fell down the deep rabbit hole of brain science. It was a neuroscience book, but the space I've really landed in the last 6 years is positive psychology and organizational psychology. So my influencers are authors like, I'm just looking at my library, Adam Grant, Simon Sinek, Brene Brown, Kelly McGonigal, Carol Dweck, Angela Duckworth. And so while strategy is critically important, me being in the military and athletics, strategy is obviously very important, but how we navigate this piece of real estate, the top 2 inches, is going to dictate how we execute that said strategy. So I've been using this hand puppet example, and yes, I completely agree that this is a very, very oversimplified example, and I may have a few holes in this, but I did run it past my own psychologist, so here goes. But this is our brain functioning well. This is us leading really well, leading with confidence, leading with focus, implementing strategy, and so on. So being a really strong leader of a team that's very cohesive. And this is the leader's brain when shit hits the fan and we freak out. It goes, ah. So let me give you some context. Amygdala, the lizard brain, scans for threat. It's supposed to. 75% of its communication is scanning for threat. It's designed like that to protect us, to say, hey, threat over there, are we safe? It's sort of an alert system. This is the logic brain, the prefrontal cortex. It's facts and figures and features and benefits and language. And then my fingers represent the limbic system, which is all of our feelings like trust and loyalty, makes all of our decisions and behaviors, controls our behavior. So when we're doing our job, when we're leading well and very functional leadership, our brain's like this. But when along comes a threat, it doesn't matter if it's COVID-19 or anything else, a threat is a threat. One thing that the brain doesn't do very well is it's not always great at recognizing a very real threat versus a manufactured perceived threat, okay? A threat's a threat, so it sends out a message. Holy shit, there's a threat, bah! And when we're in this state, we're in this sympathetic nervous system state, this fight or flight response. It's kind of like person, here's the car key, they're walking through the parkade, and all of a sudden, there's this belief that someone's following them. True or not, this belief is that someone's following them and now they're not safe. So their breathing becomes very shallow and they start walking quicker to their car, and then they're getting the key into the door, and then their key into the ignition, and they start to lose those fine motor skills. And then we all know what happens is Jason comes out of nowhere and chops their head off, right? So that's the narrative that's getting built up, is that we're not safe. We're not safe. Okay, so that's the hair on fire in the business and the leader freaking out. Well, when that's happening, how do we come back to here? How do we get the key in the door and the key in the ignition, start and just drive away, and we're safe and we don't lose our head? So functional brain, dysfunctional brain. Functional brain, fight, flight, response. Okay, parasympathetic, sympathetic states. And so here's what we do. It's helpful if we have something to point this out. It's helpful if hey boss, you okay? Because your hair's on fire. When your hair is on fire, when you're in panic state, this is what I need you to do. I need you to just recognize, and you can tell by your heart rate, you recognize and just sit still, feet on the ground. Inhale for 3, hold for 1, exhale for 6. Breathe deep into your belly, that third lung, fill up your stomach, and just repeat. Inhale for 3, hold for 1, exhale for 6. When you do that repeatedly, let's say 2-3 minutes, it sends a signal to the body that you are safe. and it essentially puts out the brain fire, the big threat, and we get back to this parasympathetic state. So how do you remember the parasympathetic state of rest and digest versus fight or flight? Well, jump helmet, paratrooper helmet, and C-130 Hercules that paratroopers jump out of, paratrooper, parasympathetic, okay? Paratroopers show up and everyone's safe. Parasympathetic gets you into that rest and digest state. Breathe in, hold for 1. So breathe in for 3, hold for 1, exhale for 6. Do that for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and you'll put yourself back into a state of rest and digest. And now you can become a much more effective leader. Pass this message on. Show your team, hey, this is you right now. Great job. Oh, am I seeing this? Are your hair on fire? Like, come back to here so you can be more effective leader. Come back to here so that you can be more functional, so that you can focus on the things that matter most, and you can, breathe. Because when we're in this short breath state, we're ineffective. Okay, ineffective leader, effective leader. We're all human beings. We need each other. We're better together. I hope that was helpful. If you've got questions, dump them in below. And yes, like I said, I realize this was oversimplified. Hey, it is what it is. Have a great day.